This week on Hermitcraft. It's a something countdown. Welcome to the Hermitcraft recap. My name is Pixel Riffs, our writer is LoyXP, and it's time to call the Scooby Gang because both mysteries, machines, and a mystery machine have appeared across the Hermitcraft server.
I'm probably gonna regret this. Yeah.
Several hermits discover an enigmatic doomsday clock appearing to have fallen from space in the shopping district and leaking ominous messages about giving it your name, along with the acronym HCBBS.
HCBBS, which I assume stands for How Can Butter Be Solid? Yes, I too asked that question. Great almighty countdown clock.
Despite this being a sign of the end times, pretty much everybody does what the message demands and drops their name into the chest provided, whereupon they receive a gold nugget inviting them to The Changeover, which is a 2017 film starring Timothy Spall and Lucy Lawless. So either this device is counting down to an obscure horror movie night, or something more sinister is afoot. Either way, let's take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week. Starting with Jevin, who is also in the shopping district causing a ruckus. Turns out the countdown to his own shop going out of business already ran out, and Jevin replaces it with a mob drops shop fed by his expansive mob farm. He titles it House of Freaks, it being a giant mutant of all sorts of monster, though the resulting creature just ends up looking weirdly like Doc M.
This is why I called it House of Freaks, because it's like a creeper, a zombie, and a spider. And I missed blocks.
Despite the protests of the replay mod, Jevin continues working on his base, going underwater for the discus support pillars and to the sky for a glass dome and a storage circle.
The only thing we really got left to do in the middle now is the storage, which I've been avoiding like the plague.
The aforementioned Doc M is constructing a hybrid beast of his own when he's not staring at the doomsday clock and experiencing withdrawal symptoms from the button.
The tunnel bore, I'm gathering resources at the moment. No, please, no button.
A bigger, better, and most importantly, safer iteration of his tunnel bore project is brought to life back in the original project area. Despite a few setbacks like dunking himself in lava and still having a lifetime supply of spider eyes to chew through, the machine is completed and the first few tests go off without a hitch. So if you want to see half a stack of TNT being fired in sync, this is definitely one to watch.
A lot of blocks. But this is looking very promising, guys. Oh man.
For a much more manual mining approach, we turn to Tinfoil Chef, who's back on the server after another health hiatus. Having lost some of his gear to creeper explosions while working in his branch mine, TFC's main order of business is getting back to enchanted status and spending some time digging up the good stuff, so that he doesn't have to suffer the indignity of buying iron from Tango's shop again.
Yes, I know. I'm going about this the slow way.
In a neat synergy, Cubfan135 has announced that he will do nothing but dig for a week's worth of streams.
And during this wealth week, we're going to be mining for diamonds all week, basically. Except for Friday, where we have a Clash of the Creators event.
The idea came from finishing the treasure room in the Great Pyramid and only having one diamond block to put in it. These riches are still to kill for, but only for people who choose the wrong door. We talked about the 2 doors into the Treasury last week, and this time Cub actually rigs one of them to murder anyone who rings the doorbell with potions through the walls. This took a bit of fiddling, actually, as the exact properties of a potion dispenser fart are bizarre and counterintuitive.
That's good for us. And if I'm standing here, I'll get damaged, even further, of course.
Hypnotized, on the other hand, when armed with the power of potion, devises an arrow that sets you on fire, but not really.
So I guess we could troll people with this, set them on fire, but with the fire resistance arrows. So they just have the particle effects on their screen. That could be funny.
Weakness arrows were a bit more of a disappointment, so the zombie tower will have to go. With Fletcher's all done, Hypno introduces masons and librarians into his trading hall. Even if none of them will provide the coveted luck arrow he was after the entire time, at least fortune books will flow like a river. Along with every other kind of brew, Azuma has put a lid on the miracle coffee maker and a giant blaze on that lid. The shell of the factory is an especially fascinating creative project as it utilizes, I kid you not, tool-assisted roof planning, which is to say that the glorious gradient was achieved with spreadsheets and precision block placement.
So now we're going to see this command in action in game, and this is where the magic starts to happen. Now you could place these yourself randomly, but it would take a really long time on a large scale, and this is just a fantastic technique for getting that detail to work.
The finishing touch on the machine is the assortment of satisfying dings it makes when finalizing your drink. It only takes 41 seconds to extend a potion too, even if it comes out a bit cold on the inside.
Admittedly, this is going to go on for a bit longer than I would like. Maybe it's a bit annoying. And then that's it.
XB Crafted spends some time tweaking his own oven settings inside the mountainside prison build, and adds a sink area on the advice of his community before visiting in cinematic mode and encountering some zombified inmates.
Which, you're absolutely correct. Unless this place only uses disposables, right? Just disposable everything.
After discovering the, thing in the shopping district, he heads over to the next towering monolith, one of Corrales' dockside skyscrapers, and issues a jump challenge. It turns out it's all a ploy to test the voice module he's installed in his plush Totems of Undying, because falling 200 feet onto a talking plushie is apparently enough to break your fall. Maybe don't try this one at home.
Aw, yeah.
Dude! I thought it was you. I thought you made it. Does it make sound?
It does.
Naturally, hand-waving away fall damage is very useful to someone building up a skyscraper, which Corrales happens to be. The modern tall building is another addition to the ever-expanding Harbour Town, by now reaching over the former headquarters of Stress Monster's mayoral campaign. This will have to be removed, relocated, or incorporated, depending on where they land with the gorgeous people. No matter, as there's nothing Corrales can't accomplish as long as he has a bed and a laptop.
I took the liberty yesterday in bed on my laptop to dig out a tunnel. And I have to say, no lag. Oh, it's been so bad for me like the last days.
He might want to have the whole thing fumigated though, because there's a bedbug problem. BOO dropped by on official business from Shady Ease and saw the ideal opportunity for some pest relocation.
Nothing? Please! Haha, I heard it!
He's no stranger himself to unexpected visitors though. Returning to his castle, B-Dubs finds a hidden base under the floorboards occupied by Impulse SV. So to explain this, it only makes sense for us to hide Impulse SV's bit of the script halfway through B-Dubs.
There, you put a living room in under my floor of my throne room.
Yeah, where else was I supposed to put it?
Anywhere in the entire world.
In the process of digging out his base all the way to bedrock, Impulse discovers, through a combination of YouTube comments and his own subscription feed, that Grian had set up a secret base behind his crop farm storage system. The prestige being that Grian was one step ahead of him and the comments section and had already moved out. Also, there were parrots.
Oh, we've got pesky birds in here, look at this.
Having unveiled the amazing himself, Grian returns to his own decadent home capable of housing a family of 20. Though the real plot twist of the video is that he really starts working on the interiors of the mansion, despite it not being Season 8 yet. His housewarming gift to himself is a massive fireplace in the centre hall, reaching up to the peak of the ceiling, be there windows or not. It's also where we find out that his name should maybe have been Cian.
I actually, when I made this mansion, I firmly knew about all of this warped stuff coming up in the Nether. So when I designed it, I wanted this fireplace from day one.
But this is where the fanbase reports in to tell him exactly where Impulse's base is. Except it isn't! And despite his best efforts, all Grian can do is, to quote Linkin Park, let the bells ring wherever they are.
Okay, that was a different ding-ding. There's so many ding-dings, ding-dongs going... Someone's pranking my doorbell.
It turns out Impulse's plan was twofold: to leave noise-making contraptions all over Grian's base, but mislead the audience, and therefore Grian, into thinking the secret base was below the central staircase to his storage system. In actual fact, he then recreated Grian's staircase in the foundation of BOO's castle, built the secret base there instead, and then went about his business finishing shulkerbox loading for his melon and pumpkin farms, installing a new iron factory and a hostile mob spawner.
And now we have 2 stacked farms that we did today. Look at that. We got the Golem farm making some iron for us, and now we've got this hostile mob farm.
B-Dubs is impressed by Impulse borrowing some of his foundation, but Impulse asks him for help tracking down another secret base of Grian's, and they return to find it is drawing attention to itself. In the end, the three of them enjoyed themselves enough that they form a secret base society, seeding chaos in every hermit's comment section so that nobody knows who has the secret base this time. The only place we know it isn't is the interior of B-Dubs' red skyscraper in Aquatown, which he converts into a wool shop.
Well, I can't, because what I'm going to do is ask all the other bits of the audience, the ones that can keep a secret, hey, why don't you leave a comment on not the base, not Corrales?
Yes.
If you can't beat them, join them, spread it.
Fabrics a tad more expensive are in stock at Scar's Netherite Boutique. Aquatown's first fashion venue is outfitted with a period-accurate interior and made all around pleasant. It helps that it sells full netherite sets bar the chest plate, but capes look better anyway. It's already attracted some onlookers with Tango Tech's Toontown buildings peering into the windows.
You know, you've seen pictures. That is really funny. That's my favorite part of this building now.
Also, Scar is reunited with his baby Yoda, since Grian couldn't come up with a better price for him than being reminded of the back of the Mega Mansion project. If Star Wars memorabilia isn't your jam, Beefy Toons might have the merch you're looking for. Vintage Beef spends his week decorating the interior of the revamped music store, which now has separate areas displaying album art posters, music discs, including a rare copy of Pigstep, which is only available for rent, not a full-time purchase, and stylish custom-built guitars. Unfortunately for Beef, some of his advanced customers are only interested in the kind of axe that they bury in the back of your head.
Alright, I guess we need to find... Okay, bye. Whoa, goodness! Ouch.
False Symmetry lucked out on a nicer return client. Cub's glazed terracotta floor is very evidently paying for her children's college fees.
Cub fan, I appreciate you. You are keeping my business running. Oh my goodness. Let's just say I wasn't quite expecting that.
Her own Cybertown receives an infrastructure boost with a high-velocity future train, which is a fairly detailed build with wagons decorated on the inside even, despite just disappearing into a wall at some point. Whether this gives her free SMS remains a mystery. Mumbo has probably lost all cell phone signal because of electrical interference from all that redstone. Even though he has to dig up some circuits from 2013 to make it happen, he installs a delivery mechanism for Pacific Coin, which is actually dispensed from the fish tank now, and makes a solid start on the shopping circuits. By the end of the day, Pacific might actually be functional, which is good news because the Doomsday Clock has to be counting down to something.
I mean, it looks like it's come from outer space and just crash landed in the middle of the shopping district. This is bizarre. This is okay. It's getting weirder.
And finally, there's Iskal, who, despite his business partner working hard on the redstone innards of their latest venture, can't resist a jab at Mumbo for removing the decorative palm trees, so he restores them using Mumbo's shulker boxes and chests instead of wood.
These are truly, although he can't open all of them, these are truly his shulker boxes.
Having invested his last diamond mining profits into Pacific, Iskal does something much more sensible with the latest batch and builds a factory plot out of diamond ore. He's happy keeping this building as insurance in case he runs out of spending money in future, but as a good deed, he keeps hold of some of the ore to make a huge pile in the shopping district, allowing hermits to simply take what they need, which makes a change from them getting it from the Diamond Throne, I suppose.
I'm very curious as to how long this diamond pile will exist.
And that's pretty much it for this week's recap. Our writer is LoyXP, and my name is Pixel Rifts. On Friday, I teamed up with Azuma, Sliced Lime, and Avomance in the latest Clash of the Creators, racing against teams from Hermitcraft and Legacy to kill as many mobs as possible in 2 hours. Check out the VOD in this week's End Screen Theatre to find out how we did. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.